Hi everybody, welcome to Raw Tropical Living. I'm Jack. It's been a little while since I checked in with you. It's been a busy week this past week, a lot going on. Taking a few classes, keeping up with the job project I have going on. But anyway, I wanted to check in with you today and share with you a subject I've been researching a little bit more lately, although I've been researching it ever since I got into the raw food thing. And it's the raw food for detoxification and cleansing of the body. Now, if you remember back to my very first video, what I told you the purpose of this channel was going to be is for me to share with you what I'm studying. I will reiterate once again, I'm not an expert. I can't sit here and spit out all the scientific processes and the reasons and the chemical reactions and all that kind of stuff in the body. Although that fascinates me, I understand it, I can't retain the knowledge. But I'm going to share with you a little bit of what I've been learning out there. And to be quite honest, one thing I'm learning out there is people misunderstand a little bit what detox really is. Detox is kind of one of these words that's thrown around a lot these days. I've seen the 3-day detox, the 5-day detox, the 7-day detox. And while a lot of these, I don't think they're necessarily bad, I think they might be a little bit misleading. I mean, you've spent a whole lifetime, most people have, I know I have up until maybe a couple of years ago, eating really bad foods, treating your body badly. So you can't expect to undo all that damage you've done in 3 days, 5 days a week. You can't really expect to undo that damage in 2 months, 5 months, 6 months. Detoxification is an ongoing process, and it's something that I'm learning more and more that we work at every day, and kind of like karma, it takes a long time to work out. But not to discourage you, because after, a very short period of time, you are going to start feeling the results from it. It's just to let you know that it is going to be an ongoing thing, to loosen this stuff up. Let me read to you a little bit of what I just have been studying, just to give you a little bit of the actual process of it, kind of the science aspect that I can't remember all the details and what have you. Most of it I know. I mean, basically your main organ for cleansing the body, detoxifying the body, filtering bad things from the body is your liver. And the liver breaks down and neutralizes these toxins and acids, and it sends to the body what it can use, puts it back into the bloodstream, and we excrete through urination, through excrement, through sweating, through breathing. We get rid of the bad stuff. But when the liver is overloaded, that bad stuff is stored in our body. It's stored in the fat cells. It's stored as metabolic waste. And it takes a lot of breaking up to get rid of this waste that you've accumulated from a SAD diet. SAD meaning the standard American diet over a lifetime. If you've been a heavy dairy user, our bodies are full of mucus. So basically what we are striving to do with the raw food diet is to get rid of these toxins, loosen up and break up this mucus, to get our lymph system moving again, because most people do have a stagnant lymph system. And basically what all this boils down to is we just have a lot of sludge in our bodies that we've accumulated that has not gone all the way through. We have mucus covering things. Sometimes our colons are so, I'm not sure if I believe the extent to what some people claim that that we just have tons of stuff sitting in our colon, but our colons are definitely compromised. We at best we do have a lot of mucus. If we've eaten a lot of dairy, if we've eaten a lot of flesh, if we've eaten a lot of grains, we've got mucus throughout our body. We've got and a lot of times you'll have like a thin lining covering the inside of your colon, and you're not assimilating the nutrients that you are taking in. So this has to be something that is thought of as long-term. Depending on where you're coming from, it's going to depend on how you detox, at what rate you detox, and how intense you jump into this detox from the beginning. to be quite honest, I like the slow, steady approach, because you're going to feel, when you get into this at all, if you've been eating a standard American diet, I know this detox sounds like, oh, we're going to get clean, we're going to get better, we're going to feel good. Well, let me be honest with you. You're probably, depending on how dirty the insides are, it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. And a lot of people fall by the wayside. They get on a raw food diet, or they do a detox plan, they start eating better, and they notice, wow, I feel worse. Why am I eating like this? Why have I switched to this plan when I was feeling better before? Well, that is what you want, actually. I know that sounds crazy to say you want to feel bad, but when you feel bad, that is the body releasing those toxins. I mean, if you've been hooked on caffeine, if you've been hooked on sugar, if you've been hooked on salt, any of these things, you're going to feel them when you're detoxing from them. It's may not be that intense, but if you've ever seen, in the movies, or known anybody going through, say, a heroin or a prescription drug withdrawal, it can get really ugly. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to get that ugly with giving up certain foods, giving up caffeine, giving up sugar, if that's what you're doing, but you're definitely liable to experience headaches, skin rashes, because that's one of our biggest organs, and that's one of the biggest ways that our body eliminates, is through the skin. And usually when you see a rash or you see a skin eruption, your body's telling you something. And you might, in the earlier stages, or for however long it takes, you might have some bad skin as you're getting this stuff out of your body. Now, how intense this is going to be is going to depend on you. A lot of people find something like the raw foods and they get really excited, and I can understand they want to just get it done, they want to get strict, they want to do it as quickly as possible. Well, you're going to feel a lot of symptoms like that, and those symptoms are likely to make you not be successful in your quest. They're more likely to just make it very challenging, especially in the beginning, to stick to this program, because you're just going to feel so crappy while you're doing it. Now, like I say, I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor, I'm not certified in detoxification, so this is just kind of one man's opinion that uses his intuition a lot. That might be cliche to say listen to your body, but it's about as true as it can get. Listen to what your body's telling you, and heed those signs. For me personally, I got in, I have not felt a lot of the very bad symptoms of detox, because I felt like I did this thing so slowly. As I also mentioned in another video, or either on the blog, I'm not sure which one, that I kind of transitioned into raw foods without knowing that I was going to transition. In other words, coming up on 2 years ago, I just started eating healthy because things weren't working for me. I was overweight. I was feeling crappy all the time. I had no energy. And I just knew. I knew the way I was living. I'm not going to even lie to you. 2 years ago right now, I was living in the city, and I kind of got into the rat race there. I had to go to the office. I had to go to an office where I was working every day. And I might get booed off of YouTube. I was living on fried chicken and beer. Actually, I've got a working title in there somewhere, from fried chicken and beer to raw food junkie. But anyhow, yeah, so I just, I was overweight. I wasn't feeling good, and I just knew it was time to change something. Plus, I had been a heavy drinker my whole life. So I first got into this thing, I started eating better to lose weight and feel a little bit better. And then I started really thinking about my health, because, I was approaching, at that time, I was approaching my 48th birthday, so I'm thinking, okay, you're getting close to 50, it's time to do something. Anyhow, I'm rambling, let me make this story short. So I get in, I don't know anything about the raw foods, or I'd heard about it, I've heard about being vegan, but that was nowhere in my mind. I just knew that I needed to get some more fresh whole foods in my body. So basically what I was doing just to lose weight, and I had done this a few times before and be a little healthier, was I was eating mostly fruits in the morning. I would have smoothies throughout the day, and then in the evening the one bad thing I was still doing was I was cooking in oil. Like I would saute vegetables in the pan with olive oil. But still, that was a pretty big change, going from, you know, eating like a lot of fried foods, a lot of greasy stuff, a lot of grains, to eating whole foods, even though I'm not doing things perfectly. And I still was eating rice at the time. I was still eating animals at the time. Not that much though. I'd cut back. I'd started tapering back. You know, I was maybe eating chicken or fish maybe 3 times a week, and the same amount of times a little bit of rice and beans. Okay, so fast forward. I did this for about 3 or 4 months. You know, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, a lot of salad. Sometimes at night I didn't steam those vegetables, or I didn't eat I didn't saute the vegetables and I didn't eat the meat, but I would have a big salad at night. So this went on for probably 5 or 6 months. And during the time, you know, I'm studying, and that's what's going to lead me to the raw foods. I'm studying because I knew I've abused my body, so I started studying about antioxidants and things to cleanse my body and things to improve my health, not just some quick fix to lose weight. You know, everybody out there is looking for a pill, a program that's going to make them totally repair them in 1 week. It's not going to work. So I was starting to do my research, and then one weekend, I don't know how it happened. It probably happened through social media. You know, somebody shared, I clicked this link. That took me to this link, that took me to this link, blah, blah, blah. And before you know it, I got on some videos about raw food. Well, just to tell you a little bit about how much it hit me, that weekend, when I saw my first video on raw foods, I went vegan from that weekend. I haven't touched any animal products since. I went fairly high raw from the beginning, but I was somewhat ready for it because I had lost a lot of weight. I could have actually stopped losing weight and just been healthy with detoxing my body. But I got severely skinny, and although I'm not going to recommend that to people, I'm happy it happened with me because, I mean, I just squeezed out. I got rid of all these fat cells. I mean, yeah, I was emaciated. I wouldn't want to stay the way that I looked, but I think there was something in that detox of getting super crackhead looking skinny to get all that fat, all those fat cells out, which in turn were carrying a lot of the metabolic waste. Okay, back to doing it slowly. If you were asking me, which you may not be, what I would recommend is just in the beginning, remove things from your diet. If you need to remove them slowly, remove them slowly. If you're a little bit more inclined, if your lifestyle leads you to that, if you're a little bit more disciplined, you might be able to do them a little bit faster. But I would say eliminating foods is the first step before you start obsessing over exactly what you should eat, how you should eat, should I eat this? Some people say you can't eat this, some people say you can't. Because the majority of detox is going to be from what you're not eating, way more so than what you are eating, by eliminating those bad things from your body. I mean, the sooner, let's just say an easy plan here, and you do it at your own pace, the sooner that you can get rid of the dairy. That's just my personal thing. Some people will fight to the death over dairy, but dairy to me is just very mucus forming. I just don't see any need for it. I mean, we'll do other shows later. There's people, what about your calcium? What about this? Well, it's out there. You get it in other foods. 2 would be the flesh. I mean, people resist giving that up, and I'm not telling you to give it up. I'm just telling you what's going to work to get you detoxing. And hey, this is a very important point that I wanted to make when I was thinking about this video. Try these things out. Experiment. See how far you want to go. Don't take my word for it. Don't take any expert's word for it. And don't look at it like if you do it, I think some people are scared, like when you mention going on a raw food vegan diet or lifestyle, that it's for life. It's not for life if you don't want it to be for life. You're not signing a contract. Do it. See how it works for you. See if you like the results. Or start slowly, give up, and go a little bit deeper as you go. Go a little bit deeper. In other words, like I have friends right now that say, well, you know what, and they do. They eat very well. They eat a lot of fresh whole foods. But I just can't give up that, you know, I got to have a little cheese. I got to have a little chicken. All I've said, and one of my friends, he's a really smart guy. He's going to try this. I've said, try it. Try it for a month. Dabble with your diet for a month. Do this for a month. See if it works. See how you feel. Your mind might change completely. I know a lot of things that I thought before, like even in my taste buds, like, you know, oh God, is this going to be a boring lifestyle? It's kind of like, am I ever going to enjoy food again? But once you start feeling the detox, the feeling becomes so much stronger than this craving for a lot of the bad foods that we grew up with, that we ate our whole lives. So what I would recommend for you, if you really are serious about this and you want this to be long term, do it slowly. You know, like I say, get rid of the dairy, get rid of the flesh, the animals, and get rid of the grains. You know, one thing that I gave up, I had given up, I gave up really quickly, was all the rice, all the pastas. In the beginning when I still every once in a while when I cook food, I do potatoes. But the grains, if you get rid of those three things, you will feel a big change right there. Now, depending on what kind of lifestyle you're coming from, do it a little bit slower. Give it up little by little. Maybe give up pork, give up dairy. Switch over to an almond milk. Switch over, I prefer an almond milk or a nut milk, but if you have to, switch over to a rice milk or a soy milk. But see if you can get off the dairy. Maybe cut out beef and pork at first, and then maybe chicken, and then the last to go fish. And you know, limit those rice and grains, or cut them down, taper down as you go. But you know, get those out of your life and start slowly cleaning up. And just instead of thinking, okay, I'm a raw vegan now, you know, which might intimidate you in your own mind, just start putting more whole foods in your life, raw living foods. Organic, the better. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and preach organic, although I love it. I get organic fairly cheap down here, but I still eat a lot of stuff that's not organic. And I'm sorry, we don't all live in the promised land of California where there's a Whole Foods on every corner, and not all of us, even if there was a Whole Foods on every corner, could afford that lifestyle. Whole Foods is great, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. Try to get organic as much as possible. You know, go to organic markets, go to smaller places, see what you can do. But if not, just try to get as much whole, non-processed food in yourself as possible. Because simply when you start eating the salads, when you start eating the fruits and vegetables, the fiber is going to clean, the fiber itself is going to clean a lot of that sludge out of your system. And if you will just start eating those whole foods, and little by little, before you know it, I mean, you know, you've lived how you've lived a whole lifetime. What's the hurry? We live in such a fast society. Everybody's always in a hurry. There's no hurry. Just commit to it. Not to jump tracks, but that's just kind of what I do with my yoga and my meditation practice. I look at it like this. That's part of my life now. It's going to be part of my life, the rest of my life, God willing. So I'm not in any hurry. I progress when I progress. I keep putting in the work. I keep being serious about it, but I put no pressure on myself about how fast I'm progressing. Do the same thing with raw food. Start eating better right now. As soon as you see this video, start eating better right now. Add more fruits and vegetables into your diet. Drop one or two things. If you really want to do it that slow, drop one or two things. Go with how you think you will have long-term success. If you can drop a good majority of it at one time, do it. I'm not going to recommend dropping everything at one time, because there's going to be a very small percentage of people that are able to do that. Now, if you're able to ascertain within yourself that you're one of those people, I'm not going to hold you back and say don't do it, but just be careful and be sure you're ready. But you know, just start working that diet. Start feeling that detox. Try to get a good source of water. Drink a lot of fluids. Add juices into your diet. Green juices are going to like put a lot of good minerals, vitamins into your body and this is going to start the repair of the cells while you're getting the bad stuff out. The fruits, there's a lot of cleansing fruits out there. You know, research this subject more. I'll do some more videos on this later, but there's a lot of fruits that are really good for this. You know, like not going to tell you to jump into juice fast just yet. Well, depending. I mean, there may be some advanced people out there. We're going to get to some fasting concepts later. The juice fast, the water fast, those are more intense ways of cleaning your body out. But yeah, use the watermelon, grapes, cherries, citrus. These are all good things for brushing, like just getting a lot of these little deposits out. You know, you're busting up like congregation of bad stuff in your body, and you're just going to, you know, just keep going, chipping away at it and getting more and more of it to get out of your body. And as you feel this, as you feel better, you can keep going a little deeper, Maybe you never want to be 100%. Now, I will say this, and I would recommend this to everybody. And I'm not going to be one of these 100% preachers. You need to eat 100% raw. You can't eat cooked food. Cooked food is bad. Bad. No. Some people are going to eat cooked food the rest of their life. And if they're eating good, whole, non-processed food, that's okay. I mean, don't let anybody tell you or get higher and mightier than thou over eating some steamed vegetables or over steaming a sweet potato from time to time. Also, you've got to deal with the climate where you live. So just add these good things into your diet. Now, what I would say for a good detox, even though I don't believe in just the gimmicky detoxes, even if you have no plans to become 100% raw vegan, raw foodist, try to go to 100% raw for a month. Try to, at the point when you're ready, try to be very clean, very pristine for a month, really with some heavy juicing, like maybe, and this is down the road, like I say, you need to put your work in. Eliminate. Add good things in. Slowly eliminate some more. Be always going down the road, honing that diet, the road getting narrower and narrower. Add the juices in. Eat plenty of the good fruits that are good for sweeping out and cleaning through your body. Salads. The green is going to be a good brush to go through there. Then, when we get a little bit further down the road, we can start we can start looking into and learning about the juice fasting, the water fasting. I'm just not going to talk about that right now because, to be quite honest, I think too many people jump into the juice fasting thing a little too early, and that's the biggest kind of gimmicky one out there is like the 3, 5, and 7 day juice fast, like they're a miracle cure or whatever. Do the work, just add the juicing in. If you want to dabble, of course, it's always good to dabble. Do a day out of the week with just juices. Anyhow, I hope this is going to help you a little bit. I hope it'll give you just like kind of a brief introduction to detoxing. There's a lot of good sources out there for detoxing. There's Dr. Robert Morse. There's Gabrielle Cousins. I have to say Dan McDonald, the Life Regenerator on YouTube. The guy is very educated. He knows a lot about detoxification. Of all the YouTube videos I've watched, I got to give him props on that. He knows a lot about detoxification. And there's many others out there. But, you know, do your homework. Do searches on YouTube. A lot of them will come up, all the YouTube folks out here, and I do it too. We keyword the videos, so sometimes you have to do a little searching. Like when I did raw food for detox, I got a lot of things about a specific, like the detox diet, whereas I was looking for information for detox for life and just kind of the big picture type thing. Same thing on Google to an extent. But you know, get out there, read other people's stuff. Don't read one source and take that as gospel. One thing I mentioned in the very beginning here when I started this is that that's my process. I mean, I consider myself fairly intelligent, able to understand information even if I'm not able to repeat the information and speak in the scientific terms. But if I read 3 or 4 people or watch 3 or 4 people's video and get their take on a particular subject, I can usually weed out within those, or see where they agree, see where they all disagree, blah, blah, blah. I can take that, and then I know within my body, within my intuition, or whatever you want to call it, what works, what is going to work for me. Do the same for you. Let your body be your guide. Hey guys, if you like this video, please give me a thumb up and share this with your friends, and I'd love to see you subscribe to the channel. And to all the subscribers out there, I just want to say that I really appreciate every one of you subscribing and watching the channel here. Now I'm about to go off to work, and I'm about to get out in the sunshine and play a little bit. So I want every one of you guys to have a great day. Get out and enjoy the sunshine. If you don't have sunshine, enjoy the gray skies, because variety is what makes life. All right, it's been great being with you. Peace to all of you.